views and opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting groups. If you'd like to produce a show, call us at 260-421-1250.
Thank you for coming on to my show. Today's guests are Mike Myers, who is
Executive Director of the Fort Wayne affiliate of the National Alliance on Mental Illness.
And my other guest is Kathy Bays.
Kathy Bays, who used to be the Executive Director of NAMI Fort Wayne. I am now sort of retired, which means I can do what I damn well please, right?
Oh. Can we stop this? Please stop it. Hello?
Hey there.
Anna!
How are you?
Oh, it's so great to see you. Oh, I'm happy. I'm Patty Hunter.
I know that.
Oh, hello, darling. How are you?
I'm good. I think we're getting up to the 70s today.
Oh, my
in North
goodness.
Idaho. So
Only 70s.
It's been a long haul winter, I'll tell you.
So it's good. It's in the 90s here.
Is it?
Yes,
Oh,
it is.
that's my kind of weather.
It's supposed to go up to 98 during the rest of the rest of the weekend or something like that.
Wow.
So welcome to my show.
Thank you.
Um,
I'm glad to be here.
well, the reason why we have you on our show is because I have my friends here from NAMI, and Mike Myers.
Hello.
Terrific.
I am the Executive Director of the Fort Wayne affiliate of the National Alliance on Mental Illness.
Oh, it's so good to meet you.
It's good to meet
even
you,
if
too.
It's just over the phone.
And
Good
this
to
is
meet you.
Kathy Bays.
Hello.
Hi.
We've met before. I'm the...
Yes.
Oh, you remember, huh?
No. I have a very good memory, mostly for faces, but also pretty much for names.
I am the Executive Director of NAMI Fort Wayne once removed. I am currently retired for 3 months and enjoying it tremendously.
Oh, I'm so glad you are. I know you must have earned it.
Well, I found someone to take over that I dearly loved, and that's Mike Myers right
Thank
here.
you.
So it was a great opportunity for me.
Yes.
Oh, isn't
She
that
didn't tell me
terrific?
everything before I took over, I learned. But
Like it's
I
like
love it when things work out that way.
Anna, would you
Yes.
ever come to Fort Wayne?
Would I?
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh, that would be great to have you on my show again.
we need to have a big
Oh.
fundraiser and invite.
I haven't been to Fort Wayne before,
You haven't?
so I would love it.
Oh, I mean, it would be just a thrill and a treat to have you here.
yes, it would.
All right, well, we'll have to put our heads together and
That's a
work
good
it out.
idea. Well,
So-
you probably don't remember, but where I met you was at an Eli Lilly reintegration celebration.
Oh, right, yes.
Yes.
You know, I was fretting about where we had met.
Oh.
Now I see it clearly, yep.
Yep, and we have a very good Fountain House model clubhouse here in Fort Wayne called the Carriage House that NAMI
Wonderful.
started, and they were giving the Carriage House people an award at that dinner that you were at in Indianapolis.
I remember it well.
Yes, and
It was lovely.
we are very, very proud of our Carriage House Clubhouse, which is the only certified clubhouse in Indiana.
Wow. Well, on the one hand, that's wonderful. On the other hand, we got to get more.
Well, we thought we were really on our way going with that, and then the Division of Mental Health and Addictions in Indiana, in Indianapolis, the state organization, cut out our Medicaid funding. So we've been without
isn't
it.
It just stymies me that our representatives don't realize the cost effectiveness
Amen,
of,
amen.
of a carriage house.
Absolutely.
I mean, in the short run it saves money, and in the long run it saves money.
Absolutely. It costs $3,000 a year for someone to go to the carriage house and remain stable and get their lives back. It costs $7,000 a day in the hospital.
See, I don't know. It is so frustrating, but I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep beating this horse until it comes through.
Anna, do you have a question?
Yeah, Anna, if I could ask, I have not read your book. I've leafed through your book just today, and it looks fascinating.
That's all right, Michael. There's no penalty for that.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you. And, I just wanted to say that first of all, it's an honor to speak to you because, you've been a part of my life sort of through the TV screen for
That
pretty much
just tickles me.
all
I
of my
love that.
life. And I'm telling you, Charlton Heston is Moses, and Patty Duke, the actress, is Helen Keller. There
Oh,
are no
God,
replacements
gotcha.
for those two. But what I would like to ask, I read some things on your website, a little bit about your childhood and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the question always comes up, how much of mental illness is a result of maybe the way you were treated? How much of mental illness is simply a result of chemistry? And I would be interested to hear kind of where you're at.
Okay.
At this point.
I completely believe that that I was born with the illness.
Yeah.
That it is genetic.
Yeah.
That the rest of my family, there are others who have is not bipolar. They have similar situations. However, I do believe also that the manner in which we treat our children can either make them ready for the world or can cause some other kind of emotional or mental disorder. So, bottom line, I guess it's a combination for me.
Patty, what made you go into entertainment?
It wasn't my fault.
I wasn't. Well, you did a good job, but
I was 6 years old. My brother, we were very poor. My brother used to go to a boys' club where he got into their drama department.
Oh yeah.
A couple of people happened to see him in a play at the boys' club and decided that he was really good material to go professional.
Oh yeah.
So they got in touch with my mother and razzle-dazzled her, and before we knew it, my brother Raymond was acting on television. And so a couple of years after that, the people decided they needed a little girl in their stable. So I was nominated, and it was a very mixed blessing. Leaving my mother, which was mandatory at that point, was incredibly painful, more than I even have words for. But I went with these people, and they kept their promise to my mother. By the way, I should say one of the reasons my mother gave me up was she was chronically depressed.
So she had
And-
bipolar.
And felt completely inferior to just about everybody. So when these people came to her and sold her this bill of goods about how they could make me a star and they could give me things she never could and blah, 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 that appealed to that insecurity in her.
Oh.
And so she gave me up to live with them. And at first, I was a good little girl. I always did as I was told. But underneath, there was some anger growing.
Yes.
And I think when I finally reached 18 and got away from those people, who were very strict on the one hand, and on the other hand were giving me alcohol and molesting me.
Oh no.
Wow.
So by the time I got away from them, I was pretty screwed up. but the chemical imbalance hadn't showed itself yet. That happened about when I was 20. And that's when I started doing, really bizarre things.
I believe it because I'm bipolar myself.
Are you?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, sister.
Hello, sister. High five, spiritually,
You bet.
I was going to say, I was in the New Age movement. I was with the occult and cults and stuff like that. And I was hearing voices. I had the hallucination.
Uh-huh.
That part of it. They thought I had was borderline schizophrenic, but I wasn't. I was bipolar.
It's fascinating the degrees of bipolar,
Yes.
the intensity of, and the types. We have so much in common, those of us who have this condition,
Yes.
and yet it gets very individualized when we're up there, when we're manic. And I used to, I started drinking very heavily. And I now know that was self-medication.
Oh.
Whatever it was at the time, I became promiscuous.
Yes,
I would wake up next to somebody I never saw before in my life.
Been
And
there.
never again.
I have been there, Dan. I've been there. Before
Yeah.
before I went. Yeah.
I can talk about it freely now because I know that even though I was certainly doing it, there was a part of me that simply, the cylinders weren't firing properly.
Right.
Now that doesn't excuse the things I did that hurt people.
But you weren't aware of it.
It's been about 30 years now.
Yeah.
In these years since, I have done my best to seek out people whose lives I impacted negatively, and to make amends and to demonstrate that kind of behavior was over. It's a constant job.
Yes.
Because you don't remember everybody. And so every once in a while somebody pops up and you go, oh my God, I remember what I did to that person.
Yeah. I find when I was a kid, I was always depressed, always. And I would like sit in a corner of the couch, and I would just vegetate. And very rarely in those.
Oh, how lonely, how sad.
I was bullied by people of my own age, and they made up stories about me, and they had a whole classroom turn on me because I was the shyest thing around. I was very depressed, and I kept to myself. And then as I grew older, I became more promiscuous and more high.
Yeah.
So I went from one extreme to the other, and then I went sort of back and forth like in cycles throughout the year. So I went through a lot of crap before they found out.
I also like to recognize that people who aren't in bipolar disorder, they too go through hell to get, to a place in their lives where they are confident.
Yeah.
And I usually say they don't have the benefit of our illness.
Yeah, they can't. They can't go
I'm
back
sorry.
on it. I'm sorry. You say it.
No, you go ahead.
No.
Well, if I could, Anna, I think you're onto something there, because this uncertainty thing is a common malady among German Lutheran farm boys, and I can attest.
Yeah.
I can certainly attest to that. Another question, if I could ask you to comment on this. Of course, I recall the television series where you played the parts of yourself and the part of a twin cousin. And
Right. Yes. Identical cousins.
identical
Wasn't
cousins.
that
Yeah,
unnatural?
I still got the tune in my head, But it seems then that the onset of your illness was roughly while you were doing the TV series. Is that correct?
It was actually when the series was over.
Oh,
Almost within, I would say, a month. And I interpret that to mean that when the series was over, it was another death in my life. And I think that that was a trigger.
it's like it's distress.
Yeah, well, often we're taught that in depression and bipolar depression,
Yeah.
loss, the death of someone close.
Yes.
It can be the loss of a job. It can be the loss of an animal. But that sense of loss can very often trigger if you are genetically disposed
Right.
to bipolar. That's usually the kind of trigger that gets it out in the open.
You know, the day before your husband contacted me, a friend of mine had died of terminal
Oh.
cancer. And then I had an operation after on my shoulder. So,
Oh no! You didn't have a rotator cuff, did you?
yes, I did, ma'am.
I've never known such pain in my entire
Isn't it
life.
fun?
I thought I would scream and cry.
Yes,
The
I was
pain
doing
was
that.
so awful, and none of their lousy pain medication touched it.
Well, I'm taking a leave for it, and I don't feel a darn thing. I don't feel.
Oh, that's good. Oh, thank God.
I can't move my arm, but I can, I don't feel a thing.
Yeah. Well, it takes a while,
Yeah, I know.
and try to be patient, because of course we can re-injure it.
Yes, I know.
Mine's been aching lately. My surgery was a good 10, 15 years ago.
Well, how?
Um,
Oh, that's
But
good.
I'm starting to feel it. I'm not going to chalk it up to old age. I just am not.
Well, you're
The last outpost of denial, right?
Oh, I think old age is a lot of
Absolutely.
fun myself. I'm enjoying it thoroughly. I'm not doing what I don't want to do anymore. Excuse me.
Oh, that's so great.
Yes,
You
I'm
know,
doing it.
to
What
be
I-
able to do that, to be able to really enjoy this time that you are now
Yes.
is really remarkable. A lot of people who retire, then they say, "What is their purpose in life?" And they get really depressed.
So
But
what? Yeah.
I so admire you. You say, "Hey, this is my time, and I'm taking it."
You're right. I'm not driving in the snow anymore, ever. Sorry about
Oh,
that, Mike.
God. Oh, don't
That's
say
okay.
no to me. I live in North Idaho, for God's sake.
Oh,
And
my
I'm
goodness.
sleeping till 8 o'clock every morning and reading the newspaper in the morning. I'm just exactly enjoying it. But I have NAMI.
I'm so
NAMI is
glad.
my passion and helping people and families deal with serious mental illness. I was going to comment, you talked about drinking with bipolar, and that's something that we see a lot with our family
Yes.
members. I teach the class NAMI sponsors called Family to Family Education. And
Yes,
I've been
I'm aware
doing
of that.
Yeah, it's great. You should sign up. I've been doing that since 1995, so I've done a lot of classes. I
Wow.
love every minute of it because you get to see people coming in at the beginning so lost and so confused, and nobody ever told them anything about what they were trying to deal with their family member. And then for 12 weeks, you get to watch them change. You get to see
Change and
them.
grow, huh?
Oh my goodness. See them
Isn't that something?
develop
Well, I
skills.
think, this radio show, I think, is so important that you're willing to dedicate this time to this
Oh,
topic.
this is a TV show,
because,
dear.
there are many people out there who still don't know
Oh,
that there
sure.
is help and that we'll never be cured, but we can be fixed.
Hey.
Well, one of the things I wanted to say is that often in our class we have families whose children have first developed the illness at about age 17, 18, 20, 22, something right there
Yeah,
like you did.
yeah.
Me.
That's a typical age of onset of the symptoms anyway, not the actual illness probably. But what we ask them is, did they have any genetic preponderance of bipolar in their family? Did they know about it? Did they hear about it? And so often the answer is no. Never
That's
heard
correct.
about it. Then we'll have no idea what this is all about. And then we'll say, well, tell us about the alcoholics. And they will say, oh, yes.
Three of my uncles.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
on and on. And it's because.
I come from a long line of them.
Yeah,
Oh, my
and what
goodness,
we know
yeah.
now is very many people with bipolar are helped by alcohol, and they do drink, and they become hardcore alcoholics.
I'm gonna
Nobody
stop
ever
you for a
understood it.
second. I'm just going to stop you for a second.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that they are helped by alcohol.
Oh, no, I don't mean
think
that.
they think they are.
Yes, yes.
I think that it is a very thick salve that
It's a
they're
terrible
putting on the
drug.
wound.
They become
uh,
very addicted. It works to,
Exactly.
it helps
And it
the
tricks
mania
us
a little
into,
bit.
into not getting help.
Yeah, absolutely, and they become hardcore, intractable alcoholics, and we see that in our family members over and over again. Of course, in years gone by, nobody knew anything about bipolar, and certainly no one knew how to treat it. So,
No, your father was just the town drunk.
yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And something that and this brought something else to mind now that Kathy mentioned this. In looking over your website over the last few days, and what is that one word that I can never remember?
Anosognosia.
Anosognosia is the condition where a lot of people with serious mental illnesses suffer additionally from anosognosia, meaning they don't know that they're sick and they kind of seem to refuse to know that they're sick. Now,
Correct.
on the other hand, you've really by writing the book and some of your public presence about bipolar disorder and about mental illness, I wonder if you could offer some words of encouragement to mental health consumers who are reluctant to speak the truth about themselves, and talk a little bit about.
I certainly love to try.
Okay.
I will remind people, or I will inform them that for a good 15 years, my illness was a barrier in every relationship. Eventually, I became a very abusive mother,
Uh-oh.
and at the age of 35, I finally allowed myself to be diagnosed
Wow. Yeah, that took
And
me.
So,
and treated.
Yes.
And that my treatment is medication
Yes.
plus talk therapy.
Right.
I still even touch base with my therapist a few times a year, just for the heck of it, you know?
And to get the proper meds.
What I can tell people is I can guarantee, based on my own experience, that your life will improve. You will be in charge, not the illness, and you can make then of your life what you want it to be. During the illness, when the illness is rampant, it's in charge. It's totally in charge. And you're doing things that, on a level, balanced day, you wouldn't dream of. But I can tell you that since 35, and I'm now 64,
Yeah.
I have led a balanced life. I do not miss the highs. I certainly don't miss the lows. That doesn't mean that I can't be extremely happy or extremely sad. It's just that now they are responses to appropriate stimuli, not just random when the illness feels like it.
I've heard it
And
put
anyway,
this way.
I hope that reaches some folks and lets them know that the worst that can happen is you go and you see a doctor and you get a diagnosis and you get treatment.
Anna.
It's the worst that can happen.
Yes, that is so true. Anna, we're
Yes.
almost the end of the half an hour. Could we do another half an hour with you, dear?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that'll be wonderful.
Yeah, I have an appointment at 11:45 my time, so we're cool.
Okay, because
I live in a small town now. It only takes 5 minutes to get to my appointment.
gee, Must be nice. I am so glad that you came on as a guest. We're going to do another half an hour with you. So the next time we are
Okay.
on air, we'll be chatting away again. And
Okay.
I'm just going to close up shop here, and we're going to see you next time. So,
Yes,
so stay on the line.
I'll be here.
Okay, so thank you, people, for tuning into my show. This is Patty Hunter of Patty's Page, and we are talking with Anna Marie Duke Pierce. Another name would be Patty Duke, and with members from NAMI. So thank you for tuning in, and have a great day.